ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्योजात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So we are now coming to the end of this beautiful small Upanishad which is called as the Kaivalya Upanishad, and in Vedanta it is also known as a Laghu Upanishad, a small Upanishad, but very loaded with the teachings of all other Upanishads also. Here the size doesn't matter, but what is taught is that what matters. And here the same teaching, Aham Satyam, that is Brahma Aham Satyam, Jagad Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, and Aham Brahmasmi iti in the last 2-3 verses, the Mahavakya Vichara we saw, and also I am that Brahman which is of the nature of what? That is also being discussed now, which is almost going to coming to the end of the Upanishad. And in the last session, we saw the 21st verse, where I explained also what the meaning of the verse is, where Apanipadoham achintya shaktihi pashyami achakshuhu sa shrunomi akaranaha aham vijanami vivikta rupaha na cha asti veta mama chit sadaham. Who am I? I am that Brahman which is Niravayava, without any hands and legs, therefore incapable of any changes, incapable of any movement. Achintya Shakti. I am that Brahman who can manifest in millions of forms, using Maya as my Shakti. And I am that consciousness behind the Achintya Shakti of Maya. That Shakti of Maya which cannot be explained, Anirvachaniya Shakti, Achintya Shakti. And any Shakti that is there, Achintya Shakti, we see in this whole universe, all kinds of Shaktis in the form of laws, various laws of the universe. Achintya Shakti. Who am I? I am that consciousness behind every energy, every Shakti that we see in this universe, starting from Maya, which is the matter principle with the amount of energy that can give rise to millions of universes manifesting simultaneously. I don't have eyes, but I see through all the different eyes of various, jivas. I don't have ears because I'm Niravayava. I'm partless. I'm not many parts put together. And I Listen or hear, I am the listener through all the other jivas, karana indriyas. Aham vijanami. Aham vijanami means what? That I clearly understand as the very consciousness behind every buddhi, every knower in every jiva. I am that consciousness because of which the buddhi is able to cognize everything. Vivikta rupoham. Vivikta rupoham means I don't have any rupa of myself. I don't have any name and form and any kind of an objective way that I can be objectified. Vivikta rupaha. I don't have any name and form. I'm formless. I'm nirguna. I'm niravayava. I'm the formless consciousness behind every form. Nacha asti veta mama. Nobody knows me. Means what? Nobody knows me as an object. People can only know me by the study of Vedanta. Guru Mukhena Vedanta Adhyayanam. I can be known as the very me, as the very Atma of the knower. I am nothing but the very Atma, the very consciousness behind all these body, mind, sense complexes. So nobody can understand me. Nobody can know me as an object because I am the very subject consciousness. I am the very knower consciousness behind every body, mind, and sense complex. And I cannot be objectified because of what? I am Chit Sada Aham. I am always the Chit Swarupa Atma. I am the light of consciousness, and therefore I cannot be objectified. This is me. The Upanishad is not talking about some vague Brahman, an object somewhere. It is talking about me. It is talking about myself. I am that consciousness, which is Achintya Shakti, which is Niravayava, partless, Nishkriyaha, Nirvikari. That as consciousness, which I am the Shrotrasya Shrotra, Manaso Manaha, Vachoha Vak, Pranasya Pranaha. I am that. I am that consciousness. Therefore, who am I? I am that highest truth, the Paramarthika Satya. Now, in the 22nd verse again, the Upanishad finally is going to talk about a few more lakshanas, Swarupa lakshanas of myself, Brahman. All these are meant for Nididhyasanam. See, the last 3-4 verses have been talking about Brahma Swarupam. Brahma Swarupam is nothing but my own Swarupam. It is I, my Swarupam, Brahma Swarupam. Why so many Brahma Swarupani are given? Because all these are the Vedantic truths that can be taken up for my Nididhyasana. As a mumukshu, for my knowledge to get established, I can use any of these Swarupa Lakshanani of I, the Brahman, whenever I feel limited. Whenever I feel limited by the body, mind, sense complexes. Whenever I feel apurnatvam. Whenever I feel that anityatvam, then any of these Swarupas of Brahman, Brahma Swarupa, which we have been discussing in the last 3 or 4 verses. After that, tat tvameva tat, the 16th verse, after the 16th verse, tat, that Brahman, what is its Swarupam which you yourself are? That is what is being discussed in all these verses which we saw. And finally, in the 22nd verse, where almost the Upanishad is coming to an end with its description of myself, Brahman and Atma, he says, Vedai, 22nd verse, Vedaihi anekaihi ahameva vedyaha Vedantakrit Veda Videva Chaham Na Punya Pape Mama Nasti Nashaha Na Janma Dehendriya Buddhirasti. So here he says, Vedaihi anekaihi ahameva vedyaha. Do you remember this? This particular sentence? Where did we see that? Vedairanekaihi ahameva vedyaha. Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. When this tune is used, then we will realize, yes, it is Bhagavad Gita, correct? So, in the 15th chapter, Bhagwan describes himself as the Uttama Purusha. Himself as Brahman. Lord Krishna presents himself as Brahman, and he says, my Swarupam is what? Vedaihi anekaihi ahameva vedya. I am the very Gneya Vastu of all the Vedas and Vedanta. I am the one which is to be known by all the Vedas and Vedanta. Vedaihi anekaihi means what? Different Upanishads. 108, 1008, whatever may be the number of Upanishads. All of them talk about me only. I am the central teaching of all Vedanta. Ahameva Vedya. I, this Brahmatma, I, my nature, my reality as Brahmatma is the only subject of all Vedanta. That is why when Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, what is Nyayam? What is it to be known? What is that which is to be known? The only thing which is worth knowing in this universe. Lord Krishna says, it is I, this Purushottama, Uttama Purusha, Atma Brahma, which is none other than you. You and me are that Brahmatma. And knowing this, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Atma Brahmatma Asmi iti, and my nature is so and so. I am unlimited. I am Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Sarvagata, Atma Brahma, Brahmatma iti. I am the only thing to be known in all the Vedanta. So, Vedaihi Anekaihi Ahameva Vedyaha. Ultimately, the central teaching of all Vedanta is I, this Brahman. All Vedanta talks about me, this Brahman. Ahameva Vedya. Vedanta Krit, Vedavid Yevacha Aham. Vedanta Krit. I am the one, I am the Atma who established the Sampradaya of teaching of Vedanta. The Vedas came out of me. Okay, Shastra Yonitvat says Brahma Sutra. All the Shastras, Vedanta Kritayam, from me, Vedas came. I am the one who established, who I means what? Brahman Atma, who established the very teaching tradition of Vedanta, starting from Dakshinamurti, Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara. That parampara, that sampradaya of teaching of what I am, what this Brahmatma is, what I am. I am not only the creator of the Vedas, because Vedas have come out of me. They are not an object of or a creation of the human mind, but these Vedas have come from me. I have breathed out the Vedas. That's why it is said all the Vedas came naturally, spontaneously from Brahman or Ishvara, like one breathes out and breathes in spontaneously. Nishvasita iva. Like this shvasa which we take without any effort, the Vedas came out as if I, the Brahman, Atma, Ishvara, is breathing out the Vedas. So I am not only the Vedanta Krit, I have breathed out the Vedas at the beginning of every creation. Not only that, I am the one who has established the Sampradayic Guru Shishya Paramparataya given out tradition of Vedanta teaching. Vedavidyevachaham. I am the Vedavid. I am also the knower of Brahman also. I am the one who is that Brahman. I am the one who knows who I am. I am the one who is the central teaching described in all Vedanta. And I am literally breathed out these Vedas from me at the time of creation. And who am I? I am that Brahman. And what is that Brahman? Nothing but I myself. I am that Brahmatma. Na punya pape mama nasti. Punya and papa are not for me. In me, there is no punya papa. I don't accrue any punya or papa. That's why Nachiketa said, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. That's what he asked. What is that which is beyond punya papa? What is that principle which does not accumulate any punya papa? Why? I, Brahman, is a karta. When I do any karma, the jiva, when it does the karma, it has to accrue the karma phala in the form of punya papa. Correct? But I, the Atma, is akarta abhokta Atma. When I am akarta Atma, when there is no karma which is happening in me, then I don't accrue any papa punya. I am the paparahita punyarahita anyatra dharmat anyatra adharmat Atma. I am that consciousness which is not a doer. Therefore, all the papas that were done, accumulated by this jiva, once I understand by this knowledge that I am a karta, Atma Brahman Brahmatma, all my papas, this jnana agni bhasmasat kurute. This knowledge that I am a karta Atma burns away all the papa punyas standing in my credit. So na punya pape mama, then mama na punya pape, no punya papa in me. Mama nasti nashaha. There is no nasha for me. No destruction for me. Why? Najayate mriyate. I am neither born, nor do I undergo any bhava vikaras, nor do I die. I am the imperishable, nitya, aksharam brahma. Mundaka Upanishad we saw aksharam, naksharati, that which does not get wasted, that which does not get destroyed by anything. Bhagwan Krishna also said in the second chapter that I cannot be destroyed by instruments, I cannot be destroyed by water, I cannot be destroyed by Agni, I cannot be dried by Maruta, nothing, nothing. I cannot be destroyed by anything because I am the Paramarthika Satyam Atma Brahma. I am pure consciousness, Akarta Abhokta Atma, that which is the highest reality, which cannot be destroyed by any matter principle. I am the consciousness which cannot be destroyed by any object, by any matter principle. Mama nasti nashaha. Na janma deha indriya buddhirasti. Na janma. I don't have any janma. Na deha. I am always videha. Where is the question of videha mukti? I am all the time videha. This body has nothing to do with me. It is incidentally there. And because I am behind every body as the Kshetrajna, I light up and I lend consciousness and existence to this Upadhi to do its work. I am not involved in any way with the actions of the body, mind, sense complex. I am Asanga. There is no Janma for me. There is no Deha for me. No Indriyas for me. Na Deha Janma, na Janma, Deha Indriya Buddhi Rasti. Nothing. There is no Janma. There is no Deha. That is why we saw Mano Buddhi Hankara Chittani Naham, Nacha Shrotra Jive, Nacha Grana Netre, Nacha Vayoma Bhumi, Nartejo Navayuhu, Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham Shivoha. I am that auspicious consciousness Swarupa, which is not in any way afflicted by the incidental upadhi that is there. I have nothing to do with this upadhi. I am not this body. Body doesn't belong to me. It is incidentally there. And because the mind is like a mirror which reflects me wherever I am, since I am there everywhere, this mind reflects me, and this body mind sense complex functions as a sentient unit, but I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with the actions of the body mind sense complex. I don't accrue papa and punya for the actions done by the body mind sense complex. Therefore, who am I? I am absolutely asanga atma ahamasmi. This is actually my reality. From the 17th verse onwards, up till the 22nd verse, we saw that I am the Paramarthika Satya, pure Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, and I am the Nitya Atma, imperishable, infinite, Purnatva Swarupa, Chinmatra Swarupa, Atma Ahamasmi. Nothing gets attached to me. Nothing gets accumulated in me. Now, the last one he says, the 23rd verse, न भूमिरापो न च वह्निरस्ति न चानिलो मेस्ति न चाम्बरं च एवं विदित्वा परमात्मरूपं गुहाशयं निष्कलम् अद्वितीयम् न भूमिः न आपः न च वह्निरस्ति. In me, or I am not responsible for bhumi, na tejo, na vayu. We have seen that, no? That I am not the vyoma, na cha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Same thing is being told here. Na bhumihi. I have nothing, I don't have any connection with bhumi. I am the very existence behind the bhumi. That's all. Paramarthika Satyam. But what is happening in the bhumi, in the earth, I have nothing to do with. Nacha vahni. I am not the fire. The fire can't burn me. I am the consciousness behind that fire. But the fire cannot do anything to me. Nacha anilaha me asti. I don't have even Vayu as my whatever avayava or whatever it is. They are not my parts. Bhumihi, apaha, anilaha, analaha, ambaraha, they are not my parts. Actually, I am the very cause of them. In me they are born. In me they are there. In me they again come back, resolve at the time of pradaya. I have nothing to do them. I am not afflicted or affected by any of the elements. न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न vayuhu chidananda rupam. Then who am I? Here he says, I am the one who is neither elements nor the elementals. I am not afflicted by the elements or the elementals. I am that pure consciousness existence which pervades all these elements and makes them function in a particular way. I am the very content, the satta pradayaka, the spurthi pradayaka of the characharam jagat. Whatever characharam jagat is there, I am the satta spurti pradayaka consciousness Brahman. Not afflicted, not affected, not tainted by any of them. Asanga Atma Ahamasmi. Yevam viditva paramatma rupam. Knowing this, that this is my nature. I am this Atma. I am not the element or the elementals, not the matter principle. When you say elements and elementals, it becomes the matter principle. I am not the matter principle. I am the pure consciousness, Chidananda Rupa. That is the most exalted, the Paramarthika Satyam, the highest reality, which cannot be affected by any of the lower orders of reality, including the Panchamahabhutas. Yevam viditva, in this way, knowing myself as Paramatma Rupam. Who am I? I am not different from Paramatma. This Atma, I am Atma Brahma. Knowing this Paramatma Rupam as my own Swarupam, Guhashayam, where is that Brahman or Paramatma that I can avail of? It is all over, I know. But then where is it that I can avail of it? It is available in my own Buddhi Guha as Ahamasmi. That constant Spuranam of Ahamasmi, Ahamasmi, I am, is nothing but that light of consciousness, the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, constantly revealing itself. And this Brahman, as this light of consciousness, I don't have to look for anywhere outside. And Guhashayam Nishkalam Advitiyam. It is this Nishkalam, the partless, Advitiyam, one without a second, Brahmatma. I don't have to look for here and there. It is available in me. It is available, upalabdha, in me, this very Hridaya Guha, as that very light of consciousness, which is constantly revealing itself in the form of Aham Asmi. Aham Asmi. And what am I that? Samasta Sakshim Sadasadvihinam Prayati Shuddham Paramatma Rupam. And who am I? This Atma Brahman, this Brahmatma Aham, Samasta Sakshim. I am the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma behind everything. Sadasad Vihinam. Sadasad Vihinam. That means that which is manifest, Murta Rupa Prapancha, Asad, Amurta Prapancha. I am something Sadasad Vihinam. I am neither the Murta Prapancha nor the Amurta Prapancha. Murta means what? The Jagat which is available in a manifest form. Amurta means what? Jagat yet to be manifested in a manifest form. In the manifest universe itself, Vayu and Akasha are Amurta Bhutas. They are Amurta. They cannot be seen. They cannot be objectified. Vayu, to some extent, by touch, we can infer at its value. But space, it cannot be so. I am the one who is other than the Murta Prapancha, other than the Amurta Prapancha. Like Lord Krishna says, Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purushat, Vilakshanaha Aham Uttama Purushaha Asmi. I am neither the Kshara Purusha, the Murta Prapancha, nor the Akshara Purusha, the Prakriti or Maya, but I am what? I am the Uttama Purusha, the highest truth, the Paramarthika Satyam Ahamasmi. That is the meaning of Prayati Shuddham Paramatma Rupam. Prayati means what? He attains. This person who understands this. When I understand myself as the Brahmatma, with all these Swarupa Lakshanani that is given here in this last 4 or 5 mantras, when I see myself as that, when I see myself as I am the Samasta Sakshi, I am the Sat Sad Asad Vihinam, I am the Shuddha Paramatma Swarupam, I am the Guhashayam Nishkalam Advitiyam Sakshi Chaitanya. When I see that, when I understand that, when I abide in that knowledge, Shuddha Paramatma Rupam Prayati. This Jnani abides in his Atma Swarupa. Prayati means he reaches. There's no question of reaching. There's no question of getting, okay? Or there's no question of, becoming one. There's no question of Jivatma going and joining Paramatma. No, there's nothing like that. Prayati means what? This Jnani who has understood his real nature as Brahmatma abides in his Atmaswarupam, unaffected by the Mithya Prapancha that is around him, including his body, mind, sense complex. Such an abidance in the Atmaswarupam is called as Jnana Nishtha. This Jnana Nishtha itself is called as Jivan Mukti, which Bhagavan Krishna described as a description of Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna. Now, with this, the teaching actually is over. With ultimately concluding it as what? Ultimately concluding it as I am that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Ekam Advitiyam Atma Brahma Ahamasmi iti, when I have clearly understood. I don't look for Brahman anywhere outside. I don't try to objectify that Brahman anywhere outside. I realize that I am that Brahman which I was looking for. That is my very nature, that is my very Swarupamiti. I have very clearly understood. Now, the Upanishad Guru Brahma, Lord Brahma, Pitamaha Brahma, doesn't want to end it here because I may be a Vedanta, Shrotru for a long time. I might be a Vedanta Muni, Mananam I have been doing for a long time. I am in the process of Nididhyasana. But still, this knowledge does not become assimilated in me in spite of my effort. And what is said in our culture, in our scriptures, is that sometimes the buddhi may be having some of the doshas, some of the obstacles because of the vasanas of the previous papas, previous, deeds as previous karma phalas committed by this particular jiva. I am a mumukshu. I have no doubt about what is being taught. I have done enough of sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. But still, enough of Shravanam, enough of Maunanam. I am really, seriously a Nididhyasaka. But still, there is somewhere some kind of a viparyaya, viparita bhavana, some kind of an obstacle to this knowledge, and my prajna does not become pratisthita or sthira. My knowledge does not become an abiding knowledge in which I can abide. If such a situation is there, the obstacles that are there in my buddhi and mind, the impurities, he says, can be removed by certain simple, methods. Some simple methods of upasana to clear this buddhi of the papas. We don't know what we have done in the past, what kind of jivas we were, what kind of body we had, how we behaved in our so many previous lives, accumulated certain kind of vasanas or certain kind of pratibandhas may be there. Sati, certain kind of viparita bhavanas, so subtle in the form of vasanas that somehow this knowledge is not becoming the truth for me. So these kind of very subtle, fine obstacles can be removed for chitta shuddhi by certain upasanas. And here, Bhagavan Brahmaji is giving Shatarudriya Parayanam as one of those methods. That is why we are all, Rudradhyayis. Our Chitrapur Saraswat community, we are Rudradhyayis. And Shatarudriyam or chanting of the Rudram is considered to be one of the most sacred things that can just Parayanam. Whether you know the meaning or not, that is the Shakti strength of Parayanam. That is why we do Bhashya Parayanam, Shankaracharya's Prasthanatraya Bhashya Parayanam. Why? We just do the Parayanam. We are not worried about the meaning because it has the capacity, the strength to purify our minds. So here in the next verse, in the last two verses, here the verse numbers are not there because the Upanishad is actually over in the previous verse. But the Upanishad comes one step down further. For a person like us who have this kind of a problem in assimilating because of certain kind of obstacles to the knowledge still residing in our buddhi. So let us read this last but one verse. यह शतरुद्रीयमधीते सो अग्निपूतो भवति सुरापानात् पूतो भवति ब्रह्महत्यात् पूतो भवति कृत्य अकृत्यात् पूतो भवति तस्माद् अविमुक्तम् आश्रितो भवति अत्याश्रमी सर्वदा सकृद्वा जपेत. So he says, when we find that this knowledge is somewhere, there is a thin veil between me and this knowledge becoming abiding in this knowledge, there may be some kind of very fine, very subtle obstacles in my mind. And he says, such a person, Shatarudriyam adhite, Shatarudriyam or Rudra Parayana, or what we call as Rudra Prashna, when that is chanted, either knowing the meaning or not knowing the meaning, Saha Agni Puto Bhavati. I might have created some violations towards Agni while doing my Nitya Naimitika karmas. And those violations against the Agni Devata, they are cleared by Shatarudriya Parayanam. Surapanat Puto Bhavati. Certain papas are mentioned here, that's all. Various kinds of papas. There are so many papas. There are something called Panchasunas and so many papas are there. But here the Upanishad Guru decides to name a few papas, name a few of the things which we might have committed in our previous lives, which has become like a subtle layer of obstruction in our intellect, because of which this knowledge I am not able to abide in. So, chanting of Shatarudriyam, Agni Puto Bhavati. If I have done any kind of a wrong deed or something wrong during my Nitya Naimitika karmas, yajnas and yagas towards Agni, then I am released from those papas. Surapanat Bhuto Bhavati. Our scriptures say that Surapanam is a papa. Drinking alcohol is a papa. That's what they say. But Surapanat Puto Bhavati. You may ask many questions why it is so, and if I'm a social drinker, what is wrong? If I'm not harming anybody else or harming, so that we are not going into all those details. This is what the scriptures say: Surapanat Puto Bhavati. A person who chants, a mumukshu who chants, not any person, a mumukshu who is seriously a seeker of this knowledge, who is a jnana yogi, but finds somewhere that there is something blocking him. Shatarudriya Parayanam helps him, if at all he is afflicted with Agni Papa, papas done towards Agni, Surapana, consumption Papa, Brahma Hatyat Puto Bhavati. Incidentally, if I have Brahmahatya, if I have killed any other human being knowingly or unknowingly, deliberately or non deliberately, we are killing so like insects get killed by us without our knowledge. We use pest control to kill the pest. There's no other go. We have to do that. So many jivas may be getting destroyed without even our knowing by us. Brahma hatyat puto bhavati, krita akrityat puto bhavati. Such a person gets cleansed of his omissions and commissions. I would have committed omissions where I should not do something, I would have done. So that is commissions. I would have probably done certain omissions where Nitya Naimitika karmas should be done, but I have not done it. Obstructions where I have not done Nitya Naimitika karmas, that is omissions. So things which I am supposed to do, I have not done, according to the Vedas. Things which I am not supposed to do, I have done. These are kritya akrityat puto bhavati. From all the mistakes of my omissions and commissions, I am freed. Tasmad avimukta ashrito bhavati. Avimukta is the name of Lord Shiva. I am under the protection of Lord Shiva. Why Shiva is talked about here and Rudra is talked about here? Because we have seen that in the fourth verse or sixth verse, Uma Sahayam, if you remember that, I think it is the sixth verse, seventh verse. Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhum Trilochanam Neelakantam Prashantam Dhyatva Munir Gachati Bhutayonim Samasta Sakshim Tamasah Parastar. Uma Sahayam Shiva in that form was talked about earlier. And what are we doing in Rudra? We are chanting and remembering 100 forms of Lord Shiva in the form of Rudra. That's why it is called as Shatarudriyam. And when I chant the Shatarudriyam as a something to get atoned for all the unknown papas that have accumulated in my intellect, which are causing obstacles to the percolation of this knowledge and establishment of this knowledge. Then he says, this chanting of Rudra, Tasmat Avimuktam Ashrito Bhavati. Avimuktam is a name of Lord Shiva. I come under the protection or ashraya of Lord Shiva. And therefore he says, Atyashrami sarvada sakridva japet. Let a jnana yogi, let a mumukshu, let a sannyasi who's pursuing this knowledge chant Shatarudriyam at least once in a day. Sukridva japet, sarvada va sukridva. Okay, he says Atyashrami here. Here Atyashrami means a person who is a mumukshu, a person who is a jnana yogi. He is also an Atyashrami. He also has, tried to develop enough vairagyam from the world outside. Atyashrami sarvada sakridva jape. So, if we find that this knowledge is somewhere, I feel I have it, I've got it, but there is something which is obstructing me. There is some very subtle obstacle which prevents me from abiding in this knowledge. In spite of my karma yoga, upasana yoga, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam, there is something which is preventing this assimilation of this knowledge. Then he says, such a mumukshu has to do chitta shuddhi further. And one of the best ways is to do any kind of a parayanam. Rudra Parayanam is nearly an upalakshan. Because Shiva has been talked about here by Brahmaji, Shatarudriyam Parayanam is given. But it can mean any Parayanam. Even this actually, even Kaivalya Upanishad is considered to be, it is said that this Shatarudriyam can be, this Kaivalya Upanishad, any Upanishad can be, even Shatarudriyam can be compared to any other Upanishads. That is why many of the Jnana yogis, those who are following, who are trying to get this knowledge assimilated, they chant one Upanishad every day. One Upanishad, any one of them. One Upanishad is the Parayanam of one Upanishad every day, which again means the same. Now we have come to the last verse of this entire Upanishad, where Anena Jnanam Apnoti Samsararnavanashanat Tasmadyevam Viditva Yenam Kaivalyam Phalamashnute. Kaivalyam Phalamashnute. 2 times this is repeated. Kaivalya Phalamashnute, Kaivalya Phalamashnute. This means we have come to the end of the Upanishad. Like, when we are singing any song or bhajan or in music, when you are in the end, you repeat that phrase twice or thrice, which means, okay, now It has this particular piece of music has, is going to be concluded. When the Upanishad gets concluded, then the final word is repeated twice. So he says, Anena Jnanam Apnoti. By this Parayana of Rudra, Shatarudriyam, the person's obstacles in the buddhi are taken care of, they are released, and the buddhi is capable of absorbing this knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi, and abide in this knowledge, become a jnani, abiding in this knowledge. Samsara arnava nashanat. Okay, so what happens? This jnanam which he has acquired by that final chitta shuddhi, samsara arnava nashanat, by the destruction or dissolution of the samsara rupi sagara. Samsara sagara or samsara. Samsara is what for us? Ignorance. Ignorance related raga shoka moha. Ignorance related raga shoka moha. All these things are completely destroyed, and I am free from coming back again and again into this samsara, which is called as samsara aranava nasha. Tasmadyeva viditva yenam. Knowing this, knowing what? Aham brahmatma asmi yenam viditva. Knowing that I am this Atma Brahman Tasmadeva. Kaivalyam phalamashnute. I get the phalam of this knowledge, which is in the form of Kaivalyam or moksha. Kaivalyam is another name for moksha, which I told you earlier in the beginning of the Upanishad only. Kaivalyam phalamashnute. Kaivalyam phalamashnute. And samsara arnava nashanat. When I have destroyed this samsara bandhana, this samsara bondage, this ocean of samsara has been dried up by this knowledge. What happens? Kaivalyam ashnute, Kaivalyam phalam ashnute. The phalam of this knowledge is destruction of the ocean of samsara and abiding in my real swarupam, Brahmatma swarupe, that is abiding in it. Brahmamai, Brahmatma swarupe, nishtha. That is called as Kaivalyam or moksha. And because of this Kaivalyam as the last word of this particular Upanishad, this Upanishad is called as Kaivalya Upanishad. And here ends the dialogue between Ashvalayana Rishi, who is the Shishya here, who is the Rigveda Acharya, and he goes to the Acharya again. He himself is a Rigveda Rishi Acharya, but he goes to Parameshti Brahma, Pitamaha Brahma, to see whether the knowledge that he has about Atmajnanam is correct or not. And Parameshti Brahma teaches this knowledge, which is the subject matter of every Upanishad, which says, Aham Brahmasmi. There is no question of Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Jiva Brahma Abheda is what is the central teaching of every Upanishad. And this very beautiful Upanishad of just 24 verses, the entire teaching of all Vedanta is literally crystallized. And with this, we end this Kaivalya Upanishad, which is a Laghu Upanishad. And I think in these sessions, we have had a taste of Kathopanishad and Mundakopanishad, which are the regular sized Upanishad, and also Kaivalya Upanishad, which is a Laghu Upanishad. With this is over. And for our next study, by the blessing of Parama Puja Sadyojata Shankarashrama Swamiji and their Adesha or wish, desire, I am taking up Vishnu Sahasranama Vichara based on Bhagwan Shankaracharya's Bhashya. What is the meaning of each name of Vishnu Sahasranama? Of course, giving the introduction as to what is a Sahasranama, what is the purpose of chanting the Sahasranama, where Vishnu Sahasranama comes, how it starts with our Dharma's question, Dharmaraja's question, and how Bhishma gives this knowledge that the ultimate way of preparing our minds for this knowledge is Vishnu Sahasranama. And this is the only Sahasranama for which Bhagwan Shankaracharya has written a Bhashya. And therefore, Pujya Swamiji wants me to take this Vishnu Sahasranama Vichara based on Adi Shankaracharya's Bhashya. That will be our next subject of study. And finally, as we complete every Upanishad or every subject, and in every session, I would not have been able to do this without the help of a few people. Here this time, I'm very sorry in the last few I did not mention, but we have a very young person, Prathamesh, a member, a very young person, a Yuva, who is the one who is creating these logos for every of these sessions. So whatever you see when it comes, that logo which has been created is by Prathamesh Ambembar, a wonderful artist, beautifully done. Thank you so much, Prathamesh. And of course, Archana Kumta, Shantish Nayal, then Nitish, all these people are there behind this whole thing going on. I'm just talking in front of my laptop, but behind all this, so much of work is going on, which is done by all these people. And last but not the least, from 2020 June onwards, these Wednesday Vedanta sessions have been going on. And we are dealing with purely Vedanta subjects. And our Vishnu Sahasranama, our next test also is purely Vedanta based only, that is going to be. And it is nothing but the blessings of our entire Guru Parampara through our beloved Sadyojata Shankarashrama Swamiji. Without their, encouragement and the trust and the faith that they have in me, that I will convey it properly without any problems, it is something that, is very, very important for me. And so I hope we will meet for Vishnu Sahasranam. All of you have the books of Vishnu Sahasranam. You see, Lalita Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam is something like Bhagavad Gita, which is there in every home. So any book on Vishnu Sahasranam where you can use the names for reference, that would be enough for that. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avastha Shambhavi Mestu Prasannostu Guru Sada Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukhamapnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.